Hello, second grade Smarties, and welcome to iReady Math Lesson 13, Day 3. So go ahead and get your instruction book out, and we are open to page 118 and 119 today. So we are still learning and practicing adding three-digit numbers. So we are going to use different strategies to solve these three-digit addition problems. So let's get started with our word problem. It says there are 476 rocks and 148 minerals in a museum display. What is the total number of rocks and minerals in the display? Because this is a word problem, what are we going to do, Smarties? We're going to read it again. All right, so let's circle those important numbers and underline those key words that tell us how we are going to solve this problem. Let's go back to the beginning. There are 476 rocks and 148 minerals in a museum display. What is the total number of rocks and minerals in the display? The first strategy we can do is to model it. You can show each number as hundreds, tens, and ones. So for 476, there's 4 hundreds, 7 tens, and 6 ones. In 148, there's 100, 4 tens, and 6 ones. If we put the total value of those numbers together, we can add 6 ones plus 8 ones to get 14 ones. Keep that number in the back of your head. 7 tens plus 4 tens is 11 tens. Keep that number in the back of your head. And we have 400s plus 100 is 500. It says you can also add the hundreds, then tens, then ones. So we can start by adding 400 plus 100 equals 500. Then we could add the tens place. 7 tens plus 4 tens is 110. And 6 ones plus 8 ones is 14. So our hundreds would be 500. Our tens would be 110. Be thinking about that. And our ones place is 14. The way that we like to practice so we don't make any mistakes is to add ones, then tens, then hundreds. So look at how they organize the information. So they started by adding the ones place, and they kept all the ones together. So 6 plus 8 was 14. Then they added the tens, which made 110, and then they added the hundreds, which was 500. So when we are looking at how many ones, tens, and hundreds we have, I want you to think about the value of each place in our number. So remember, when we are adding 2 and 3 digit numbers, we start with the ones place to see if we have too many ones in the ones place or too many tens in the tens place. We want to make sure to give the correct value to each place in our number. So let's look at 7. It says we can make a 10 and a 100 to add. So just like what we were talking about with our tens place and our ones place. So in 500s, we have 500, right? So it says look at the first model it. Write the value of the total hundreds, tens, and ones. So 500s is the total of 500. 11 tens has a value of 100 and 110. And 14 ones has a value of 110 and 4 ones. It says, look at the last model it. How many ones, tens, and hundreds are there? Fill in the blanks. So 14 would be 14 ones. 110 is the same as 11 tens. So if I add 7 plus 4, that is 11 tens. And 500 is the same as 5 hundreds. It says, what is the same about the numbers in problems 7 and 8? What is the same about those problems and what is different? So looking at our number, I want you to think about how we solve these addition problems. What is going to be the same and what is going to be different? So I'm thinking specifically about our tens place. I want you to look at our tens place. 11 tens is the same as 110 in 110. Okay, so that is what is the same, right? So when we are thinking about these numbers, we have to think about the value of each place. So what is the same about the numbers in problems 7 and 8? What is the same? They all have the same value for each digit. So all of these problems show the same value of each digit. So 14 is the same as 14 ones. 110 is the same as 11 tens. And 500 is the same as 500s. We did the exact same thing at the top for each digit. What is different? What is different about the top from the bottom? On the top one, we started by finding the value of each digit. In number 8, we started with the value and put the number of ones, tens, and hundreds. It says, what is the total number of rocks and minerals in the display? Show your work. So now they want us to put all of it together. They want us to find 500 plus 110 plus 14. Here's what we are going to do. We are going to show 500 plus 110 plus 14. But here's what we're also going to do. In our ones place, we know that our ones like to hang out with our ones and our tens like to hang out with our tens. So watch what I'm going to do. Underneath this equation, I'm going to write how many ones are going to hang out in the ones place. So in 14, there's 4 ones, right? But we have 110. So we're going to move our 10 to our tens place. But then when I go to my tens place, I have 100 in the tens place. We can't have 100 in the tens place. So we are going to add our tens together. So we have 10 plus 10. Do you see that, guys? We have 2 tens, which is the same as 20. But we move this 100 to the hundreds place. So we move this 10 to the tens place in 14, and we're moving our 100 to the hundreds place in 110. So now we have 4 ones. We took that 10 to the tens place, and we moved our 100 to the hundreds place. So now we have 100 plus 500 is 600. And if I put the value of each digit all together, I have 600 plus 20 plus 4 makes a whole of 624. We can also solve this in a different way. So I'm going to show you another strategy that I know a lot of you guys like to use. So let's show it like this. 476 plus 148. So we showed the value of each place. We put our ones, our tens, and our hundreds together, and then we found the whole. But let's look at it this way. Let's start with our ones place. In our ones place, we know there are 14 ones. If I am hanging out in the ones place, in 14, my ones hang out with my ones, and my tens hang out with my tens. So now I am in my tens place. I have 1 plus 7 plus 4 tens. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tens would be the same as 120. Can I have 100 in the tens place? No. So watch, guys. 12 tens. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like to draw a picture so I can see this. So there's 100, and there's 2 10s. So watch what is going to stay. My 2 10s are going to stay in the tens place. My 100 is going to move with the hundreds. So now I have 100 plus 400s plus 100, which is a total of 600s. That is one way to show that problem. It says, try another problem. What is 649 plus 184? All right, so we need to show our work with this. So let's start with 649. So 649, I'm going to break this apart. So 649 is 600s. So I'm going to show the value of this digit. So 600s would be 600. 4 10s would be 40 plus 9 ones. Now I'm going to show the value of 184. 184 has 100, has a value of 100, plus 8 10s, which is a value of 80, plus 4 ones. Now I'm going to put those together. So when we are looking at our ones place, we are going to start with 9 plus 4. What is 9 plus 4, Smarties? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that would be 13 ones. Okay, so we're going to write that, but keep that filed in the back of your head. All right, now we're going to add 40 plus 80. So 4 10s plus 8 10s. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 120. Oh, keep that in the back of your head. And then our hundreds place. So I'm going to put our 0 ones, our 0 10s, and our hundreds. 6 plus 1 is 7. But we are not done yet, right? So now I'm going to bring 700 plus 120 plus 13 over here. Okay, so just like what we did right here, we're going to do the same thing. So starting with our ones place, I cannot have 13 ones in the ones place. So my 10 is going to move to my tens place. So 10. And my ones are going to stay the same. So 3, my ones hang out with my ones. So in 13, I had 3 ones, but my 10 moved to my tens place. So then I go to my tens place, and I would have 120 plus 10. That would be 130. I can't have a hundreds in the tens place. So I'm going to move my 100 to the hundreds place. So now I'm going to put an X through those so I don't add them. So now I can add my tens. So 10 plus 20 would be 30. And 700 plus 100 would be 800. 800 plus 30 plus 3 would make a whole of 833. We could also use a picture to show this equation. We could use an open number line to show this equation. We could use a hundreds, tens, and ones chart to show this problem. But what do I always tell you, Smarties? Use what strategy works best for you. Maybe you didn't solve it this way. Maybe you solved it like you like to solve it, right? So maybe you like to show it as an equation. Maybe you like to use an open number line or pictures. Use what strategy works best for you. All right, Smarties, as always, keep that growth mindset. Good learners do hard things. I will see you tomorrow with another video lesson. Happy learning, Smarties.